All right, got a little excited there because we are now on the last video. This is the last one for this section. What is it, 10.5, I think? And it's the last one for the course. Yay. So this is a kind of question that you can commonly get asked. And the reason for these questions is so that you don't always use the Pascal's triangle, that you actually memorize that formula for the binomial coefficients. So what is the eighth term in the expansion of parentheses x minus 1/2 parenthesis raised to the 12th power? The eighth term. Now you have to think about this. What binomial coefficient do you want? Well, the top number would be 12. What would the bottom number be? Would it be 8? No, because the first term is 0 on the bottom. The second one is 1, 2, 3. So you need the seventh one. You need a 7 on the bottom. It will be the eighth term. That's the key thing here that people mess up on. Because you start counting from 0, not from 1. Okay? Just wrote that out so you have it in your notes again. So, K always starts at 0. Remember, 0 factorial is 1. So I get 12. So the eighth term of this expansion would be 12 choose 7, a to the 12 minus 7. Remember, 7 counts the number of factors of b. I'm just using a and b because I don't want to get confused with the x and the 1/2 and the minus and all that stuff. So just writing it out in general terms here. Okay, 12 choose 7, a to the 12 minus 7, and b to the 7. Remember, so the b to the 7 I know for sure because that matches up with this number always. These two numbers have to add up to 12, so it has to be 12 minus 7. Or you could just write 5. The two have to add up to 12. So that's 5. That's a little easier. It's a little easier with actual numbers, right? And now I'm writing in what they actually are. So my first where is it? A is just x. So I just wrote, 12 minus 7 is 5. I changed a to x. But b is negative 1/2. You have to take the minus, think of it as plus and negative. The b is negative 1/2. So I put negative 1/2 in here for b, and it's raised to this. See why I put it in letters first? It's less confusing. And then I'm just substituting. So that's the b. See the same color, right? And that's to the 7th power. The 7th power of 2. Let's see, the 5th power is 32, 64, 128, right? 128. If you do a lot of computer science stuff, you're going to know those by heart. So that's the formula, or that's how it works out. Remember, I need to know the formula for 12 choose 7 is 12 factorial over 7 factorial. It's actually these two numbers, right? 7 factorial times 5 factorial. That's what it is, right? See that? 7 plus 5 is 12. 7 factorial, 5 factorial. And then don't forget you have this. This is negative because it's an odd power. And 2 to the 7th is 128. X to the 5th. So of course you want to combine this with these. Okay. So I just wrote them together, plus I expanded out that. Now how am I doing the coefficient there? Well, which number is larger, 7 factorial or 5 factorial? 7 factorial is larger, so I'm going to cancel the 7 factorial out with the numerator. That leaves me with 5 terms in the numerator, starting from 12. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. And then on the bottom, I haven't canceled out the 5 factorial, so I got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. and 1 doesn't mean much. And then I cancel out, and these things will always cancel out because the binomial coefficient is always an integer. This part is always an integer. So notice I could take 5 times 2, cancel with the 10, or I could take 4 times 2 and cancel with the 8. It doesn't really matter. I did 12. It's just the first thing I saw last time I did it. Right? 4 times 3 is 12, so that cancels with the 12. Oh, and 5 times 2 is 10. That cancels with the 10. That's why I did it that way. That's really nice. And then the denominator is just 1. Right? So I just have, well, except of course, that's the denominator of the binomial coefficient, this part. But this part still has power of 2, right? That's 2 to the 7th. Actually, I could cancel 3 of those powers of 2 with this, right, with the 8 here. And that would leave me, let's see, 2 to the 7th. That'd leave me with, take off 3 of them, 2 to the 4th, a 16. That put us, if you cancel that 8, you get a 16 there. So you'll end up getting minus 99 over 16, x to the 5th. You could use a calculator for that too. Doesn't matter. Yeah? So that's a common type of problem, so you should know how to do those. The key thing that if you get wrong, you'll get the whole thing, you can't get any of it right, is that you have to use k as 7, not k as 8. To find the 8th term, you have to use k as 7. Because you start counting at 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gives you 8 terms. Count them if you have to. Okay, that's it. The end.